Discipline and emotional control. Staying calm under pressure. Let me tell you a story about a man named Ryan, someone who wasn't born with discipline or emotional control, but became a master of both through experience, mistakes, and persistence. Ryan was your typical guy who let emotions dictate his life. If someone cut him off in traffic, his blood would boil, and his entire day would be ruined. If his boss criticized him, he'd carry resentment for weeks. At home, when his kids were loud or didn't follow his instructions, he'd snap at them, only to feel guilty later. But everything changed one day when a small, almost insignificant incident opened his eyes. Ryan was standing in line at a coffee shop, already frustrated because he was running late for work. A woman in front of him was taking forever to decide what she wanted. Ryan felt his temper rising. "How hard is it to order coffee?" he muttered under his breath. The woman turned around and smiled apologetically. "I'm sorry for the delay," she said. "I'm deciding because it's for my son in the hospital. He's been too sick to eat, but he said he'd try coffee today." Ryan froze. Here he was, fuming over being 5 minutes late, while this woman was dealing with something far heavier. He realized then how his lack of emotional control was hurting him and others. That day, he decided to change. Step 1. Understanding the problem. Ryan started by reflecting on why he reacted the way he did. He realized his outbursts weren't about traffic or coffee shop lines. They were rooted in his own stress, insecurities, and lack of discipline. He often let his emotions take over because he didn't have the tools to pause, think, and respond calmly. Most of us are like Ryan in some way. Emotional control isn't something we're born with. It's a skill. And like any skill, it takes practice. Discipline plays a crucial role here because it helps you train your mind to respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. Step 2. Building awareness. The first step Ryan took was building awareness. He began paying attention to his triggers. What made him angry, stressed, or overwhelmed? He kept a journal and wrote down every incident where he felt he lost control. What he found was eye-opening. Most of the things that upset him were minor. Traffic jams, rude comments, or unexpected delays. None of them were worth the emotional energy he was giving them. This awareness was the first building block of his discipline. Step 3. Practicing the pause. One day, Ryan read about a simple technique called the pause. Whenever he felt emotions rising, he'd take a deep breath and count to 5 before reacting. It sounded almost too simple to work, but he gave it a try. The next time his boss criticized his report, instead of snapping back or sulking, he paused. He listened carefully, took a deep breath, and asked, "Can you help me understand what you'd like me to do differently?" To his surprise, the conversation became constructive. For the first time, Ryan felt like he was in control of his emotions rather than the other way around. Step 4. Building discipline through habits. Emotional control isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Ryan realized that to stay calm under pressure, he needed to strengthen his discipline in other areas of his life. He started small. 1. Morning routine. He began waking up 30 minutes earlier to meditate and plan his day. This gave him a sense of control before the chaos began. 2. Physical exercise. Exercise became a non-negotiable part of his life. It helped him release stress and boosted his mental resilience. 3. Mindfulness practice. Ryan started practicing mindfulness, focusing on the present moment rather than worrying about the past or future. Each of these habits required discipline, but they paid off. Over time, Ryan noticed he was less reactive and more composed, even in high-stress situations. Step 5. Reframing stressful situations. One of the biggest breakthroughs came when Ryan learned to reframe situations. Instead of seeing challenges as threats, he started viewing them as opportunities to practice his new skills. For example, when his kids were being loud and chaotic, instead of yelling, he'd think, "This is a chance for me to teach them how to handle conflicts calmly." When a coworker was rude, he'd remind himself, "Their behavior is a reflection of them, not me." This mental shift was powerful. It allowed him to stay calm, no matter what life threw at him. Step 6. The role of self-compassion. Of course, Ryan wasn't perfect. There were days when he still lost his temper or let emotions get the better of him. But instead of beating himself up, he practiced self-compassion. He'd remind himself that growth takes time and that every small step forward was progress. Self-compassion is a crucial part of emotional control. When you're kind to yourself, you're better equipped to be patient with others. The result. Calm under pressure. Fast forward a year, and Ryan was a completely different person. His co-workers noticed how composed he was during meetings, even when things went wrong. His family saw how patient and understanding he had become. Most importantly, Ryan felt a sense of peace he had never experienced before. One day, his daughter said to him, "Dad, you're so calm now. It makes me feel safe." Those words meant everything to Ryan. They were proof that his hard work had paid off, not just for him, but for the people he loved. Number key lessons. 1. Emotional control starts with awareness. You can't change what you don't understand. 2. Discipline is the foundation. Daily habits like mindfulness, exercise, and meditation build resilience. 3. Reframe challenges. See stressful situations as opportunities to practice calmness. Practice self-compassion. Growth is a journey, not a destination. The journey to discipline and emotional control isn't easy, but it's worth it. When you master your emotions, you don't just survive life's challenges, you thrive. And like Ryan, you become a source of calm and strength for those around you.